Hi, in this video, we are going to discuss about structures in C. So as we all know, arrays are collection of elements of same data type, correct? Whereas structures or collection of one or more variables which can be of different data types. Let us take an example, employee record. I wanted to maintain the salary details of an employee. So I will have the employee ID, employee name, employee basic pay, employee provident fund, employee dearness allowance, employee gross pay, and so on. All these are the details or the record of a particular employee. So all these variables, the ID, name, basic pay, dearness allowance, all these variables are related to one single employee. Okay, they can be grouped together as a structure so that it makes more sense for me when I say employees ID, employee name, employee PF, employee dearness allowance, employee basic pay, and so on. Okay, similarly, when I talk about the student record, I can have the student number, student name, student address, student blood group, student average, student grade, and so on. And all these are variables or values or data which are related to a student. So I can group together as one single structure so that accessing it becomes very easier for me. I can say if a student's name is Satya, I can say Satya's ID, Satya's average, Satya's grade. No, it's very sensible to understand this. So a structure is nothing but collection of one or more variables which can be of different type, and usually all these variables will be related with each other, right? So when I talk about a student, student ID, student name, student mark, all this can be grouped together as a student structure. Let us take an example, a very simple example. Consider this point. This point has got x and y values. Okay, there are two values for a particular point. Instead of saying, declaring int x, int y, I don't know which points x and y it is, right? So I can create a structure called point and include these variables inside the structure. So how do I declare a structure? I should use the keyword struct. Point is the structure tag. This point contains x and y, which are integers, and close the braces and a semicolon. This is structure declaration. It's just a template, the structure template. That is, the point structure will contain two members. We call this as members. So x and y. So this does not occupy memory space. It's very similar to a data type. No, this type is being defined by me. So we can also call it as it's defined by the user, the type defined by the user. When I say int, int is a predefined type, a built-in type. This one is defined by the user. Now, when we saw in the earlier slide, we saw struct tag. Whereas here you can see the keyword struct is there, and opening braces and closing braces. Within this, you declare the members of this structure, then followed by these variables. So x, y, and z are the variables of this structure. Okay, so all this, whatever is declared inside these braces, are the members of these variables. It's very similar to say that, no, int x, y, z. So x and y, x, y, and z are integers. Similarly here, x, y, and z are the structure variables. Okay, so now this x, y, and z requires memory space to be allocated. The other way of declaring a structure variable is, we already have declared a structure template there. Structure type, struct point we have declared. So we are declaring a variable of the structure point. So PT is a variable of point structure. That is, PT has got two members, x and y. I can also initialize values for this structure. So struct point PT equal to 320 comma 200, meaning 320 will be the first value, 200 be the second value. That is PT's X is 320, PT's Y is 200. I can also initialize values for the structure. Now, we know members are the variables which are declared inside a structure. How do I access the members? I will have to use dot operator for accessing the members. Okay, say for example, I've declared a structure point. Point has got two variables X and Y. Now when I see here, you can see PT is a structure variable of type point. So PT has got X and Y as its members because it belongs to this structure, right? So I can say it's very similar. Struct point is nothing but a type, a structure type. So PT is a variable. So PT has got X and Y as its members. So to initialize, this 320 will go for the first member, 200 will go for the second member. So I can say here PT's X is 320. That is PT dot X is equal to 320. PT dot Y equal to 200. So I can print these values. I'm going to print two integer values. So how do I access them? Using the dot operator. PT dot X comma PT dot Y. Let us take another example here. You can see when I want to draw a rectangle, I will have to know this coordinate and this coordinate. Okay, so this one contains X and Y. This one contains X and Y. Okay, so what do? I first create a structure point which will have X and Y as its members. Then create a structure rect which will contain structure point. Correct? So my structure rect is going to contain another structure called point. So this is what we call it as nested structures. A structure can be nested within another structure. Okay, so this point contains two values X and Y. So this and this both are required to draw this rectangle. So I'm creating a structure called rect which contains structure point PT1, structure point PT2. Right? So point is already a structure which is written within another structure rect. So we call it as nested structure. Now, how do I declare a rect variable? Struct rect, the variable name screen. Okay, so this screen variable will contain PT1 and PT2. PT1 contains X and Y, PT2 contains X and Y. So now how do I access this? Screen dot PT1 dot X, screen dot PT1 dot Y. Similarly for this, screen dot PT2 dot X and screen dot PT2 dot Y. So I can nest one structure within another structure. Okay, so now let us try to write a program using online compiler. Okay, this is just the basic structure, correct? So let me declare a structure. How do I declare a structure? struct is the keyword. The same example, let us take. Point is my tag name. This point is going to contain X and Y as integer variables. Now your structure should be closed with a semicolon. Let me define a structure variable. So struct point PT. If I want to initialize values to it, I can say PT equal to within braces 4, 3. So PT dot X is going to be 4 and PT dot Y is going to be 3. I can try to print it. So for printing, I want to print two integer values. So PT dot X, PT dot Y. So when you run this program, you can see the output should be 4 and 3. Okay, because you're printing PT dot X and PT dot Y. So things to remember, a structure is nothing but a collection of variables of different data type. And all the variables inside the structure are called as members. And this is the structure tag, which is optional. and any structure should be declared with the keyword struct. And I am declaring the template for a structure, memory space will not be allocated, whereas for PT, memory space. It's a structure variable, so memory space should be allocated for that. And to access the members, I need to use a dot operator. Okay, I hope you understand this. Have a nice time.